evening, everyone. Here we are. It is, of course, for no news on, of course, 18th today. 18th, ladies and gentlemen. Let's not be rushing in front of ourselves there. 18th today, ladies and gentlemen. 18th to the 5th, 2026. How we doing, guys? Are we all okay? A little bit busy this morning. That's why I didn't do a live. And to be honest, not a lot really going on, really, to be fair. Anyway, not to worry. We'll say hello to everybody. And Monday, of course, always reasonably quiet day on the Western Front, as you fully are aware. So let's just say hello to everybody. Lisa's in, Sheila's in, Sue Allen's in, Kelly Close is in, Diane Williams is in, Kem Jin's in, Graham's in, Chris Taylor's in, John Brink is in, Denise is in, Darnie W's in. How you doing, Darnie? Hope you're okay. Looks like Darnie's a new one. Belinda's in, Amanda Smith's generally new. Glenn Pearson's in, Natalie Bowen's in, Rod Stewart's in. Rose Stewart, ladies and gentlemen, Rose Stewart. Mike Brinder's in, Blue Rose is in, Kazzy's in. How you doing, Kazzy? Hope you're okay. Kazzy looks like Kazzy's new, so welcome. Vanessa's in. Tasha looks like Tasha's reasonably new as well, so good evening, Tasha. Gradders is in, Steve Osborne's in, Sonora's in, Maznu's in, Bill Geo's in, Kelly Toro's in, Jackie J's in, Karma's in, Kinalbo Collins joining us tonight as well. Here we go. Angela Davis is joining us as well. Lisa Thurr was ill, Jonah Unwin, Dave Ling's in, Kira's in, Teresa Clark's in, Michael's in, Bridlingtonshire. Michael is in from Bridlingtonshire. Jill's in, Lily Flores is in, Ann Taylor's in, Jason Thomas is in as well. So, good evening, everyone. Hope we're all okay. Not really an overly amount to say tonight, to be honest. But events of the weekend. Let's just have a quick look. Well, Tommy Robinson apparently turned up on Londonshire, of course. Apparently, according to the mainstream media, Tommy was surrounded by 2.5 people. Yes, very interesting numbers there from the mainstream media. We all, of course, know that there was rather a lot more than 2.5 people there. Anyway, I'm not sure whether it was millions. I don't know. I don't know the official figures. But very, very interesting that David Lammy was questioned on this in regards to, I think it's London Radio or London Broadcasting, LBC, I think it's called. Anyway, the guy on there is not too bad. Don't dislike him. But David Lammy, what an absolute sausage, honestly. So he gets asked about, the fact that these protests went ahead, and of course David Lammy, of course, didn't know the figures. He didn't know any of the facts, etc. Looked a complete and utter bell end on the camera, which he actually looks a bell end off the camera. Never mind on the camera. Sorry about that, Anita. I'm rather thirsty. So it was very interesting. There was some rumours of arrests. Now this is quite an interesting one. The riot police were deployed. Luckily, the people have got quite wise now to the riot police. And of course, everyone knows that when the riot police get deployed, the riot police cause trouble. Because, of course, there's no point in deploying the riot police if, of course, there is no trouble, because they look like bellends while they are actually in full riot gear doing fuck all. So, but anyway, they were deployed, and 43 arrests were made. Not by, of course, the riot police. No. This was done by facial recognition. And this was, the arrests were people that were already wanted by the police and just happened to show up during facial recognition installation, so to speak. Apparently, this is the first time the police have used facial recognition, which is an absolute load of bollocks. They've been using it for a long, long time. The military have been using facial recognition for even longer. And for all you people that are bleating on about digital ID and fucking crying in your nappies and all that shit, listen, the government want to find you, they will fucking find you. If they want to kill you, they will kill you. If they want to harm you in any way, shape or form, let me tell you, they will do. And if they want to cause you any financial distress, trouble, strife, whatever it happens to be, they will cause it for you. They will kill your family and your friends just to shut them up. And if you are outspoken, they will do everything in their power to shut you down. So please don't be under this. So please don't think that you are a free citizen of the world or even the UK, because, of course, this system is not basically designed that way. However, it is changing, and it is changing rather rapidly. Now, we have heard that there is software, or should we say stuff being developed at the moment, or should we say already developed, that is going to be able to track every single transaction or thing that people have done. Now, at the moment, we've got a huge amount of corruption in the councils across the country. I'm not talking about one particular council in particular. I'm talking about all the councils. All the councils are absolutely corrupt to the floor. Now, here's an interesting one. We have heard from military intelligence that there is, would you say, a tracking system that has been used over the last 15, 20, 25 years. Robert David Steele talked about this a long time ago. And this tracking device, this system, this new thing that's come out, can track absolutely anything. Now, what's been the problem in the past is that financial transactions could be escaped by creating offshore accounts, by creating shell companies, by using Companies House as a money laundering system that, of course, Gary Waterman has very clearly demonstrated over the last couple of years. So this new system that is coming online is basically able to track any transaction around the world from its source, so the original place where it started to where it ends. And it can go through multiple shell companies, it can go through multiple councils, it can go through multiple limited companies, it can go through absolutely anything. Now, as you well know, this, of course, is the offshore and the SWIFT system that is already in place at the moment. However, the quantum financial system, as we know it, is going to overtake this very outdated and antiquated system. And, of course, the powers that be are, of course, shitting themselves very, very rapidly. I mean, you will literally see councillors and, of course, people in power that are going to be walking down the street very strangely. That is because they have shit themselves, because they found out what this tracking system is going to do. So if you've been trading up and above board, you know, etc., 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 and I'm not talking about not paying taxes and council tax and all that shit. I'm not talking earning a little bit of cash on the side. That's okay. We're talking about some serious money. We're talking about trillions and trillions and trillions of pounds and dollars and yen and drachma and fucking pesetas and fucking francs and lira and fucking absolutely anything that you can think of. Anything that you can think of, ladies and gentlemen. This is going to be tracked and traced. And very interesting. If you go to your search engine and you search trafficking arrests in the local area or whatever you want to see, you will see hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of people are being arrested for trafficking. They're being arrested for paedophilia. They're being arrested for drug trafficking, child trafficking, andromachrone, organ trafficking, whatever you want to call it, okay? And these arrests are taking place. I mean, I can only report on my local area, and as I said a couple of days ago, in my local area, there was a massive drugs operation taking place, involving 4 farms in the area. Very interesting. Very interesting. And it's a number of people were arrested. I think it was about 30 in total, somewhere around there. County lines, etc. Apparently Middlesbrough, which is close by to me, is one of the direct routes where drugs and trafficking take place, coming of course into the actual Teesport area, which of course is, as you well know, or you may not know, is trying to win what they call, I think it's a free port status, where you can store goods in the area, but you don't have to pay VAT on it or something. I don't know the full details of it, but it is actually a very interesting thing. And then, of course, we've got Ed Miliband. Now, Ed Miliband, absolute, complete and utter bell end. The amazing thing about this is that there was a program last night on TV, and basically there was it was a program about Norway, and it was about the fact that Norwegian people are very, very affluent. And the reason that Norway is a very affluent country is because it has a what they call a national wealth fund. And this national wealth fund runs something in the region of about $1.8 trillion, or whatever you want to call it, yen. I don't know. Anyway, it was quite interesting that this the chap that was running it was a very, normal blasé type of guy. Didn't look too official or unofficial. He was just very relaxed. Especially when he was looking after the finances of $1.7 trillion, whatever you want to call it. And this wealth fund is created by the sale of oil from Norway, goes to the people. And it basically gives them free healthcare, all kinds of benefits that they get. And of course, it's all paid for by the sales of oil. Now, what they didn't tell you on the program was very interesting. They didn't tell you that the oil that they sell comes from British oil fields. And going back to Ed Miliband, who just happens to be writing a brand new book that I'll talk about in a second. Ed Miliband is basically determined not to allow British companies to drill for oil in the North Sea. However, it's quite okay for Norway or Norwegian companies to drill in the North Sea and take the oil to Norway, sell it to the UK, And that sale, UK buying the oil from Norway, basically goes to fund the lifestyle of the very wealthy Norwegian people. Now, how amazing is that? Now, what I can't understand is, first of all, is why aren't the British people getting benefits from the oil and gas that is sold from the North Sea, and why aren't we drilling that oil and gas ourselves, maybe giving ourselves it for 5 pence a litre and maybe selling it for 50 pence a litre? I don't know what the full figures are, and I don't really care, but it would be really beneficial for the British people to, of course, gain an advantage from selling oil and gas. Then, of course, they came on to the very interesting topic of climate change. Yes, Simon Reeves was the host, I think it was, and they came on to the very interesting. So they had a Norwegian, should we say, climate change activist. And she was saying, well, we want to keep Norway as a very nice country. We want to be able to have nice flowers, and we want to be able to have nice clear seas, and we want to be able to have dolphins visiting us. And she painted quite a great picture of this, which was really, really interesting when you were watching it. And I was dying for the presenter to actually turn around to her and say, well, that's very interesting, isn't it? That, of course, you get your oil and gas from Britain and you're not even drilling your own oil and gas in fucking Norway. Now, remember that Norway is a very, very mineral-rich country, i.e. oil, gas, gold, all that kind of shit. But, of course, they don't want to do any drilling there because, of course, they want to save the environment. Now, these people that want to save the environment, i.e. Norway, are quite happy to drill in the North Sea, fucking sell the fucking oil to the other countries and basically live a life of fucking luxury at the expense, and then basically turn around and claim that climate change is a very important agenda to Norway. Fuck off, I mean, fuck off. I mean, the irony and the hypocrisy of this utter bullshit that goes on is absolutely incredible. And the Norwegian woman was probably called Nora, or fucking I don't know, some outlandish climate change name, that you can probably think about. But it was very interesting that the guy that was running the wealth fund, while being quizzed very aggressively by Simon, didn't actually bat a fucking eyelid. And you could actually tell by his mannerisms that he knew climate change was an absolute fucking farce. And it was hilarious to watch. And then, of course, we had, what else did we have over the weekend? Oh, yes, the fucking Eurovision. I mean, people were actually going nuts about the Eurovision. I mean, forget EastEnders, forget Crossroads, forget Coronation Street, fucking Eurovision. I mean, is Eurovision not out of fashion? I mean, we have some fucking interesting bands on Eurovision. I'm not sure who won, and I don't really care. But one of the ones that I saw was, I think it could have been Norway again, Norway. And in the background was in the background, behind the two singers, or the three singers, whatever it was, there was a golden man. Now, this was the man in question was dressed in the same costume as the Tin Man. Now, remember the Tin Man from oh, fucking hell, the Tin Man, Yellow Brick Road, from the Yellow Brick Road. Remember that? The Tin Man? So this guy was dressed exactly the same as the Tin Man. However, he wasn't tin. He was actually gold. And then, of course, further on in the background, if you were paying attention, the Wizard of Oz. Thank you for that, Vanessa. Yes, and if you were paying attention, in the background also was Dorothy. Now, she didn't have her red shoes on. Some of you may or may not have noticed that, but I certainly did. So there we have the Eurovision giving out the Wizard of Oz vibes. Oh, dearie me. And then, of course, we come to the ever interesting YMCA song. The first sort of YMCA house was in Gitmo, Guantanamo Bay. And, of course, we get Donald Trump singing YMCA, YMCA. And some very interesting lyrics in this. Now, of course, we had a police officer in there, a Native American Indian, a construction worker, a cowboy, a biker, and also a soldier. And the three other songs that were involved in that were, of course, were Go West. Remember that one? Also, Macho Man. Macho Man was sung by Sunita as well. I think Sunita sung that as well. Macho Man, Macho Man. And then, of course, there was In the Navy. In the Navy, you can sail the 7 seas. In the Navy, you can bum a fucking sailor in the Navy. Remember that one? And that was quite an interesting one. But some of the lyrics in the song are very interesting. And I suggest that you go and have a look at it, because it's really interesting. Young man, keep yourself for the crown. What crown are we talking about? Young man, put your pride on the shelf. That's an interesting one, isn't it? Something to do with fucking ego there, maybe. Young man, what do you want to be? Yes, what do you want to be? What else have we got here? Pick yourself off the ground. That was another interesting lyrics. Oh, that was another one. Young man, are you short on your dough? Fucking brilliant. You've got to love this shit. I absolutely love it. And very, very interesting. And now, of course, we've got a massive fight, as you well know, between the London colonialists, which is, of course, the Empire. Remember the film called The Empire Strikes Back? I think maybe we're probably about there right at this moment in time. Now, as you all know, the globalist London Empire is, of course, at loggerheads with Mr. DJT, Donald Trump, as you all know. And one of the reasons that this is because we have got... we've now got two opposing, should we say, financial moving forwards, so to speak. Now, JFK spoke about this many years ago, until, of course, he was assassinated in 1963. It's a well-known fact that JFK Sr. Wanted to bring in a brand new tax system. Interestingly enough, the day after he died. No surprise there then. And, of course, this new tax system that JFK wanted to bring in was very similar to what we call Jasara Nasara. This, of course, has been highlighted many times on many occasions, and you know, it will actually be a miracle if it ever gets fucking to come to pass. But anyway, it's pretty clear that the new financial system, of course, runs on basically tariffs. Taxes are banned. The economy, of course, is built on the workers. The workers are rewarded, and it's not the globalists. It's not the very few people that get the money. It's a large percentage of the population that gets the money. Now, this, of course, flies in the face of the UK, Israel, Mossad, and London, who are against this system. I don't even know any. I've got no idea what you would call this, but I call it the globalist agenda, which is all about control, and it's all about corruption as well. Unfortunately, of course, with the new quantum financial system coming into place, which I've just spoken about, the empire is basically shitting itself. Now, of course, we've had the king recently advocating the digital ID. Now, I don't know about you, but what the fuck has digital ID got to do with the king? Well, it's got absolutely fuck all to do with him. Now, also as well, it's a known fact that the king is a practicing Muslim. There are rumours that William is the same, and the royal family run under Sharia law. Very fucking interesting about that. So we can expect cousin marriages, deformed kings and queens, and all kinds of hereditary shit going on. Anyway, that will be quite interesting as we move forward. I mean, it might even be found out that Prince Harry is actually a fucking fairy, and Meghan Markle is a man, but we knew that anyway. You only have to look at the way she dropped the baby bump many, many years ago. And, very, very interesting. So we will, of course, obviously wait and see what happens. Of course, we've got this ongoing dispute in regards to Xi Jinping. The mainstream media are making out that Xi Jinping was all over Donald Trump, making him, making out to be that America is weak in regards to China, etc., etc. This is all a load of bollocks. I actually believe that Xi Jinping and Donald Trump and President Putin are all working together to bring about the deep state in their own particular areas. Now, if you are under any illusion who the deep state are, well, the end of the day, the deep state operate in all countries across the world. So this is not just a London colonial thing. It's not a Commonwealth thing either. This is a worldwide global elite that, of course, are trying their damnedest to bring in all kinds of different bullshit and agendas. Now, I want to, for anybody that thinks that digital ID is going to go ahead, if anybody thinks that all this shit's going to happen, I want to take you back to 2019. Now, 2019, as you well know, we had a bat flying around Whitby Castle in Yorkshire, and all of a sudden it ended up in Wuhan with some kind of a fucking virus. An invented virus, by the way, that nobody seems to know much about. Anyway, Donald Trump always referred to it as China. And, of course, China, of course, as you well know, is in Ukraine. And if you know anything about Ukraine, you will know that there are bioweapons labs in Ukraine. And the reason that they are there is because they don't come under international scrutiny, which, of course, when you are planning a worldwide pandemic, you don't want international fucking scrutiny, do you? No, of course you don't. Anyway, a lot of people won't get that idea, and bless the cotton socks. they're all at the back of the fucking class. And they'll probably remain there unless they pull the fucking pants up and tighten the fucking belts. Anyway, that besides, okay, there then was a massive global, I don't know what you call it, coordinated effort. And it was very well planned. It was very, very well done, to be honest. When we look back at it now, it was very well done. And it was very smooth. It was very flawless. And lots of people fell for it and all that kind of shit. And caught a lot of people off guard, by the way. Yeah, it did. And interestingly enough, they keep trying to do this. Okay, they keep trying to do this. Unfortunately, it doesn't seem to be working. There doesn't seem to be that global organisation, should we say, that was there in 2019. Now, I believe that lots of things changed in 2019, including people's should we say, thinking capabilities. And people are now a lot more smarter than what they were in 2019. And a lot more people are questioning the narrative. And that is certainly evident at my gym in the morning with some very comfortable pensioner age people who are rather active but also have some very interesting political views. However, those political views have changed massively over the last 5, 6, 7 years. And we're now at a stage, of course, where these people are really, really not only struggling to adapt, but they are struggling to get their head around what has actually happened since 2019. And of course, you know, it may seem very easy to us. Unfortunately, it's not for them, and it's not for a lot of people who really, really are struggling with the changes that are happening. And so we have to remain very, what should we say? We have to remain very empathetic to these people, and we have to sort of play a bit of a part where we have to be a little bit careful with them, because of course if you say the wrong thing, you can end yourself up in a bit of a fucking fight. So you know, just be very mindful when you're out there, particularly who you're speaking to, particularly who you are airing your views to. And don't expect people to be, should we say, open to your conspiracy ideas, because a lot of people are still not ready for that yet. Yeah, my advice is, I would say my advice is really keep your mouth shut unless you are invited into the conversation. And then, of course, you can fucking blow them out of the water with a nuclear fucking bomb. But until that time comes, well, we must all remain very calm. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, listen, I'm going to get myself off. It is now, of course, 8 o'clock in the evening on the 18th of the 5th, 2026. I hope you all enjoyed it, this. And I have to say a big thank you to the team for all that they're doing, and a big thank you to you lot for joining us. Please share everything to all kinds of different areas that you want to, you know, TikTok, Facebook and all that shit. And then, yeah, we can do some good stuff. We can do some good stuff. Now, don't forget, of course, that the mainstream media is still running full tilt. And unfortunately, they will continue with their narrative until either A, they get taken down, or there just happens to be an alien invasion. Anyway, we'll wait and see. Anyway, on that note, I'm going to get myself off. Love you loads. Have a great evening, and we will see you all again shortly. Okay, take care. See you tomorrow. Cheers, bye.